Well, we're closing in on the Disabled American Veterans DAV 5K in Southie on November 11th, and needing almost no introduction at this stage are Dan Stack, the CEO of the Disabled American Veterans Department of Massachusetts, Mark Vonner, he's CEO of Veterans Development Corporation, and then Lisa Hughes. Everybody knows Lisa, well-known WBZ-TV news anchor, joining us on the line as well to talk about the upcoming event. And everyone, thanks so much for being here and talking to us about it.
Mike, thank you very much, but you're giving Mark and I a little credit. Lisa's the only one that needs no introduction.
I didn't want to insult you.
Well, I'm just telling you that's how it works, right, Lisa?
Yeah, let's be honest.
No,
outshines all of us. Absolutely. So, Dan, I mean, the event, I think, sold out last week. This has been a growing event. I know you guys have been doing it for quite some time, but from my understanding, from where it grew in its infancy to where it is today, it's a pretty different looking event. So, one, congratulations. I mean, I know this is a huge fundraiser, an event for you, a lot of publicity around it. Talk to us about it and just where it's come over the years.
Our very, very first event basically was down at the Boston Commons, and I think Lisa was our MC at that particular point in time, and she looked at me and said, well, we got to do better than this, because I think we had like 20 runners running around the Common. Today we have sold out at 1,500 runners, thanks mostly to all of our media partners and tracks working very, very hard. I can't thank CBS Channel 4. They have been doing so many promos that have also helped in regards to us getting the word out and everybody signing up. It's been great. Mark Vonner for stepping forward and being our presenting sponsor this year. Not only has he basically given us the funds to operate with for the 5K, but more importantly, he has given us the moral support and reached out to all of his companies that he deals with to also support us. So we are very excited about this upcoming event. But Lisa and I both have kind of a heavy heart this particular year in regards to our 5K, because as Lisa will tell you, one of our greatest generation, Lou Pasquale, passed away this year. Lou was one of the kind of guiding forces on our 5K and our golf tournaments. He was always trying to raise funds for the DAV and to give back, and we will miss him this year. But one of the things that we have done at the DAV 5K in honoring him is now we will have the Lou Pasquale Heroes on the Hill at the actual 5K. So, you know, there'll be many flags that'll be put up in regards to the loved ones that have been lost that people want to remember. And one of the biggest will be a flag for Lou Pasquale.
Well, let's jump over to you, Lisa. I mean, you've been involved in this event since the very beginning. I mean, why is this organization and this event so meaningful to you personally?
It's just a great opportunity to recognize the work of the DAV, which is so important. And also on Veterans Day weekend, just to say thank you to all these men and women who have made incredible sacrifices for our country. It feels so good to be a part of this. And Dan, I think back to that very first event we had. And even back then when there were so few of us, it was an honor to be a part of it. You know, we should be thanking veterans every day in every way. And because we don't always get the opportunity to do that, I love that we make a really big showing of support at the DAV 5K. You know, this is a way that in big numbers now, by comparison to the way we started, we can just let them know how important they are and how much we want to support everything that supports them. And this just has become such an incredible event. It's so uplifting and so upbeat that for us at WBZ to be a part of this is a privilege.
And again, that's Lisa Hughes, news anchor at WBZ. I'm joined in studio by Dan Stack of the DAV and Mark Vonner of Veterans Development Corporation. We're talking again about the DAV 5K, the Disabled American Veterans 5K, main fundraiser for the organization coming up on November 11th. Dan, I know registration's full. So if you're trying to register a team at this stage, unfortunately, you're going to be looking at next year. But there's still plenty of ways that folks can get involved, and everyone feel free to chip in here. But what are some of the great ways people can support the DAV without necessarily running today?
Well, one of the ways is naturally the Financial Exchange is going to be helping us with a radiothon come November the 10th, Friday, November the 10th. So please, some of your listeners could call in that day and basically donate during the 5K, or just go to DAV 5K Boston and click on the donation button, and that would be very, very helpful. Mark and I would be extremely happy about anybody that wants to contribute to us and help us continue what we are trying to do. And what we are trying to do is make sure that we have housing programs for veterans, transportation programs for veterans, and now Mark and I are working on a work therapy program for veterans. So we're continually trying to get out there and make sure the veterans are taken care of today and into the future.
Fantastic. Mark, same question to you from Lisa. How did you get involved with this? You're the key sponsor of the race this year, and talk to us a little bit about your business and your involvement with the military and the DAV at this stage.
Well, obviously, I met Dan many, many years ago, and he and I have become very close. He's a great sponsor of the veteran world in the entire veteran, I guess, industry. And him and I have just partnered up over the years. I'm a contractor that has both a mechanical division as well as the general, and Dan has been a huge sponsor of that and helped me through all of my successes, and I'm just very proud to be part of the whole program.
Excellent. Well, I raced last year. I've raced before. I think I know what to expect on November 11th. But why don't you run us through? If folks are showing up on Saturday, whether to compete or to cheer everybody on, what can you expect on Saturday on the event on November 11th? What are we looking at?
Well, naturally, you can expect a great MC and Lisa Hughes being there early, and then we have to let her kind of change and run because she's one of the best runners that we have. She'll be out there. And keep in mind that although registration is closed and sold out, we have many, many grateful individuals that want to come out and support a loved one and basically say in honor of with a bib or whatever. And if you do come out, we are going to make room for you to either walk or run. Even though we're sold out, if anybody is listening to us and wants to just show up, naturally we will make room for you, because it's more important that those that want to give an expression for a loved one that has served their country, we want to be there to help you express that. So we're looking really forward to it. I understand that Jacob Wyckoff, who is, again, a great meteorologist from Channel 4, has predicted we're going to have great weather.
Perfect.
So we're going to be all set there. If it was like last Saturday in the 70s or 80s, we'd all be fantastic. But I can assure you that no matter what the weather, we're going to have the Marines out there in shorts and short-sleeve shirts with the banners, and they will be prepared to run, that's for sure.
It's genuinely a very touching event. If you haven't had the opportunity to participate, would strongly encourage it. It's a great day to be out there and participating and supporting. Just so happens to support a fantastic cause.
I think one of the best ones, and Mark will admit this too, is we also have a very close friend, Bob Barlow from MBA, basically a mortgage company. And Bob himself is a paraplegic, and I think, and Lisa has interviewed him before, one of the probably most moving demonstrations of an individual who has never given up is Bob crossing the finish line in mud. His team was helping push the wheelchair with his daughter sitting on his lap. That, to me, will always be one of the most memorable things that I saw about the DAV 5K. Somebody in a wheelchair being pushed across the finish line after doing the 5K.
Well, everyone, just hearing you speak so passionately about the event, I think it really comes through. Again, it's the Disabled American Veterans 5K, the DAV 5K, held on November 11th. I'm going to be there. Lisa's going to be there. Dan and Mark obviously will be there too, and very, very excited. Dan Stack, he's the CEO of the Disabled American Veterans Department of Massachusetts. Mark Vonner, CEO of Veterans Development Corporation, and Lisa Hughes, news anchor with WBZ, joining us today to talk about the DAV 5K coming up. And why don't you give that website out one more time just so everybody has it?
It's DAV5K /Boston. Make sure you put the Boston in there so you run with us and not the other DAV 5K. So it's DAV 5K Boston. And one last thing, Mike, if I could give a shout out to my cousin Bob Shaughnessy, who listens to your program constantly.
Excellent.
It's the only time we actually have talked is when he said, hey, by the way, I heard you on the Financial Exchange. So anyway.
Excellent. Well, thank you, everyone, for joining. Again, it's November 11th, DAV 5K Boston. Just type that into Google. You'll find it. And looking forward to seeing all of you out there in Southie on November 11th. Thank you so much for joining us. Quick break. We'll be right back on the Financial Exchange.